Marquez. I'm the archivist and librarian at St. Ambrose University, and I'm also a professor. I teach art history and museum studies. I have a background in, well, art history. I love non-Western art, so that includes ancient Egypt. So yeah, what are my credentials for leading this trip? Well, I've been there twice now, and it's fabulous. So I want the opportunity to share this experience with you guys, and you will not regret it. So we're gonna just talk, we're not gonna go into the history or anything like that tonight, but we are just going to go over the itinerary, and it is a fabulous itinerary. I just went and I researched it all for you. I made sure all of the sites were right? Okay?
Oh, how you suffer for us.
I did. It was 20 days this time of just torture. So this particular trip is just going to be a general overview of Egypt. It's going to be north to south, and it's going to be Cairo all the way down to Abu Simbel and everything in between. When are we gonna go? Well, we're gonna go June 4th through the 17th. It is summer here, and it's also summer there. Is it going to be hot? Yes, but it's Egypt. It's going to be hot, right? But one of the perks about going in June is it's the start of the off season, which means no other tourists are there. You want that, right? So when I was there in June, I was in King Tut's tomb all by myself. It was like I had a private little date with him, right? Which is every girl's dream, isn't it? Right? So yes, it's going to be hot, but it won't be busy. Their official language is Arabic, but don't worry, they speak English. Our guide, who I know, yeah, and I'm not gonna give away the surprise right now, but later, we'll talk, right? But he speaks English, and he's the best. There's a lot of people in Egypt. The currency is the Egyptian pound, and let me tell you something really exciting. It's 3 cents to our dollar. So ladies, get ready for some serious shopping, right? Their official religion is Islam, but there's also a large sect of Coptic Christians and Jews. It is a melting pot over there. I mean, I know America claims to be a melting pot, but there's more melting action going on, right? The government is a republic. Everyone over there right now is very proud of Sisi and all of his accomplishments. Part of it includes inflation, but everything else has been fabulous, right? So they're working on infrastructure, they're working on housing. So he's doing lots of really great things, and everyone is very proud of him. With that, everyone says that this is the most stable their government has been in a long, long time. So no fear about that. And the capital is Cairo, which we will be at. I want to skip through some of this historical stuff and get right to the itinerary. So day one, we are going to arrive in Cairo. You're gonna be tired. I'm not gonna lie, it's a long flight. And I don't sleep very well on long flights. Right? There's people, there's weird noises. Anywho, so you're gonna be tired. So as soon as we get there, you're gonna have some leisure time. Nap. You're gonna have a nap, probably a snack. Okay, no judgment, right? Naps are good for you, okay? Then we're gonna have dinner on our own, which is gonna be like overlooking the pyramids. No joke, like our hotel that first night is like, boop, you can see the pyramids, and it's great. Maybe we'll get to see the light show for free. Yeah.
And there is that swimming pool too.
Yeah, there's a swimming pool. Yeah, so it's gonna be great. All right, next day, we're gonna kick it, oh, come on in. We're gonna kick it old school, and we're gonna go to Saqqara, and we are going to go to the Step Pyramid, which you can now go in. Yeah, before you could not, because they were doing some restoration work on it, but I was just in there. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Right? Also in Saqqara is the Pyramid of Unas, and I know the outside doesn't look very impressive, but on the inside, it is the only pyramid that has written text inside. It's the pyramid text. There's also some magical artwork, and when I say magical, I mean like you shine light on it and ta-da, artwork appears. So this is a very, very cool site. I've been in it twice now, and every time it's great.
Do you have to crawl on your belly to get into that one, or is that one walkable?
Okay, every day in Egypt is leg day, right? So there's a lot of this, but this one is not on your belly yet. I was in a few of those. I don't think we're scheduled to go in any of those. But this one is totally accessible, and it's one of the shorter trips down into the earth. So, and also, you guys don't have to go in if you don't want to any of these pyramids, right? So if you're scared or a little claustrophobic, no one is forcing you. So we will also be going to the Serapeum. So dead bulls, here we go. Actually, no, there were no dead bulls found in the Serapeum. It's just a whole bunch of underground crypts and tunnels and sarcophagi. So I was there, it was great. I'm hoping that when we're in the area of the Serapeum, that we'll also get to go into the Bubastion, which is dead cats. Right? But also there's Maya's tomb, which was King Tut's wet nurse. So I'm hoping for a little sum, they'll let us in again. Because I was there twice. I got snuck in twice, right? So we'll see. We will also be going to Dashur, and there's these 3 different pyramids here. One guy, whose name was Sneferu, he tried 3 different times to make a pyramid, a true-sided pyramid. He did. Good for him, right? I think we're scheduled to go into all of these. I'm not gonna lie, a couple of these have bats in them. But they're so cute. Like they'll talk and again, you don't have to go, but if you're looking for adventure, these are the ones to go in. Okay? We will also be going to the pyramids. And yes, we will have a camel ride around the pyramids, and it'll be great. You will get up on that camel, they will see your big booty, and they will call you Shakira. Right? Okay, well maybe that's just unique to me, but it is. Oh man, I went at it was about sunset, and it was absolutely gorgeous, just going around and getting like a view from the distance. So absolutely fabulous. So yes, we will have camel rides. We are also scheduled to go inside the Great Pyramid, which is fabulous. I mean, that's all I can say about it. It's absolutely amazing. We will see the Sphinx, right? Okay? And if this doesn't impress you, well, hopefully the rest will, because I have to say, it only gets better after the pyramids. I know, hard to believe, but trust me, it does. There's the Citadel of Saladin, which I want to talk about all these things, but I'm just going to say we're going to these places, okay? Very cool. There's the Muhammad Ali Mosque inside of the Citadel, and this is the inside. Yeah, right? There's also a mausoleum in there, so for my people that like dead people, this is the place to go, right? There's the Hanging Church, which I just went to on this trip, and it is absolutely crazy because they built this like on top of a Roman fortress. So that's why it is literally hanging. Like there's a wall, like a fortification wall, and they just built a church right on top. So it's kind of like floating, hovering. Yeah, right? You know, and there's also like apparitions of Mary that happen here. So if you want something spiritual on this trip, this is for you. Also, this particular church, this is a different one, which I was just at. There is a cave which the Holy Family stayed at. You know, like remember back in the day, your Bible studies, where the Holy Family was escaping Herod, right? And they went to Egypt. This is where they stayed. Right, and they built a church on top, and it's you can go down. You can go down in that cave, and there's also a well that the Holy Family drank out of. So you know, there's literally something for everyone on this trip of all faiths. This one here, I'm very excited about this. Do you guys remember a few years ago when there was that big parade of mummies in Egypt? No, because yeah, okay. We got a few that watched that, right? Well, when they moved all the royal mummies from one museum to their new home, right? So all the royal mummies are in this museum, and I was just there, and it was so well done. Just the absolute care with the display. And then you can just go in and you can literally introduce yourself to all the royal mummies. Yeah, yeah, and it's fabulous, right?
That just opened up, right? Or no?
What?
That just opened up, that new museum?
Not too long ago.
Okay.
There's another museum.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about maybe. Okay.
Just
All
wait.
right. All right.
So, if this doesn't impress you, right? There is the old Museum of Egyptian Antiquities, which is still absolutely fabulous. Now, you might have heard that there is a new museum, the Grand Egyptian Museum. It's on our itinerary, right? So I'm not sure how much of it will be open, but when I was there last year, I got to do the soft opening. So we might be in the soft opening stages. They might be more open. I don't know. But what I can tell you is when we go to the old museum, King Tut's treasures are still there, right? So fabulous. Yes, the Grand Egyptian Museum. So this is the part that I got to see last time, which is, I know it doesn't look like much, but let me tell you, it's very cool. So we've got all these museums to go to, okay? And you will not be disappointed. Oh yeah, the market. Oh my gosh, okay. You're gonna love the market, okay? So picturesque, beautiful, shopping, right? I don't know if any of you like haggling. I think it's fun. Right? So, ladies, when we're going through the market, you're going to get catcalled, and it's going to be fun. You're going to feel pretty, right? You're going to feel so pretty, right? And then these guys, they're going to want to sell you stuff, and you're going to be like, yeah, right? And you're going to make a deal with them, right? And it's fun. Like, that's part of it, right? A lot of people think it's annoying and aggressive, but if you go into it with a positive attitude, you'll have fun. And if you don't want to buy anything, that's fine too. All you just say is la 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 and just keep going, right? That's all you gotta do, right?
Chase you.
But I mean, just walking through the market is absolutely gorgeous, and we'll see some of like the Islamic buildings while we're there before we go shopping. And I think we're actually supposed to eat somewhere in the market, which is good. I've eaten there a couple of different times, and I have not been disappointed, right? All right, so that's what Cairo and Giza are going to look like. Then we are going to go down to Luxor.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When we're in Cairo, are we going to stay in the same hotel the whole time that we're there?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. So then we are going to go to Karnak and see, so there's two really great temples that are in Luxor. There's Karnak, which is known for the hypostyle halls. Oh, this right here, this is what I'm talking about. This is the money shot, right? Also, we're going to go to the Valley of the Kings. King Tut is going to be one, right? Okay, so this, oh, I don't have a picture, but his mummy is actually still there in his tomb. It is, I'm going to say, this is one of the smallest tombs in the Valley of the Kings, and only one of the 4 rooms was painted, but it's exciting because of who it is, and also the paint job is really sloppy, so we can go and be like art critics and be like, that's not good. But it's still a very, very powerful place and just fabulous history. Now, Seti the First. This is the tomb that you want to see in the Valley of the Kings, and I did, and it is, oh my gosh, just absolutely beautiful, well-preserved examples of pharaonic artwork. It is mind-blowing. It's also pretty large. Then we will be going to Habu Medina, which most people, don't really know too much about, but it's exciting. So this is Ramses III, not the second, Ramses III's mortuary temple. And he was a badass warrior pharaoh. And he defeated the sea people. We don't even know who the sea people are, but it's very exciting. And this guy, well, he knew some stuff about history. He said, I don't want anyone to erase my accomplishments, so all the hieroglyphs in this temple must be cut hand deep. And that's exactly what they did so that they couldn't be erased. So literally, birds nest in those hieroglyphs. But anywho, this guy he's just badass. right? I mean, that's all there is to say. So I have to tell you, Egyptian art is often very graphic. Here we can see the king, the pharaoh. He has slain his enemy, the sea people. And well, what better way to, you know, show off your power than to cut off their genitalia and throw it in a pile? Yeah, exactly. That is the appropriate response right there, right? So we're gonna see some pretty cool imagery of captives and defeated enemies. I don't know. I like it. I think it's very interesting. I have a violent streak hidden inside, I guess, right? There's also the Valley of the Nobles. So we go from seeing these really fantastic examples of pharaonic artwork to artwork of the everyday. And it's just Egyptians living their best life. So we will be sneaking into, well, I'm not going to say sneaking in, we are going to the Valley of the Nobles, and we're going to go into some of the tombs. This temple, Dendera, oh my gosh, I was just there. It is absolutely fantastic. So this is the temple to Hathor, who is the goddess of love, motherhood, sexuality, music, dancing, all the fun stuff, right? But her temple is absolutely so well preserved. There's still color in there, and it's bright and vibrant, and every single column is different and unique in the way that it was designed and created. So very exciting. We're gonna go on a Nile cruise. I mean, it's the best way to see the geography, right, on that cruise. And we're gonna have all the amenities. We're gonna have food. There's gonna be a pool. There's probably gonna be belly dancing. There's probably gonna be whirling dervishes on the cruise. I mean, there's just gonna be everything, right? And the cruise is gonna, you know, drop us off at different temples, and it's gonna be great, right? Also in Luxor, we have the Luxor Temple with the famous Avenue of the Sphinxes. And this is the largest temple complex in the whole world. It is bigger than Angkor Wat, and there's just everywhere you go, there's hidden surprises here, from Hatshepsut's obelisk to statues by Ramses. Even King Tut, who did like practically nothing during his reign, did a little bit of building here. So, I mean, it's just such a wealth of history here. This one here, I'm very, very excited about this. So this is Nefertari's tomb. Now, Nefertari was Ramses II's favorite wife, because he had many, like 100, no big deal, right? But this was his favorite wife, and we had to prove that by making her this tomb. And let's see, it would have been back in the 60s. You guys, some of you might remember this, like the Getty did a massive conservation project on this. So they did a lot of restoration. So with that said, this tomb is very, very exclusive. They limit access to it. We're gonna go, right? And I was just there, and it is absolutely magnificent. Oh man, like, here's a fun fact. You can actually see her tattoos in some of the paintings. Yeah. It's spectacular. And if you give them a little extra cash, they might let you sneak into one of the side rooms where you can see her depicted as a mummy, which is very cool, right? So just absolutely stunning. I mean, these pictures that you're looking at, right? This is what you're gonna see. It's just, wow, is all like this will leave you speechless. Okay. There's also Hatshepsut's mortuary temple, which is very exciting. I tried to like not have too much because I'll just go into the history. But here, there's absolutely fabulous artwork about her reign as pharaoh. I know like now she gets a bad rap because, you know, she was erased from history and all that, but she reigned for 22 years and she did really great stuff, including leading expeditions to the land of Punt, and she brought back different trees to transplant, because why trade when you can just grow your own? right? So exceptional leader. And I don't want to like spoil this for you, but you know the story is that she didn't get along with her stepson. That's not true. They actually had a fairly decent relationship in the way that he was like 2 years old, grew up, went off to play soldier boy. But they had like an okay relationship. And when she died, he assumed the throne and everything was hunky-dory. And it wasn't until her grandson came along and he was the one that actually started erasing all imagery of Hatshepsut, right? And he did that to bolster his claim to the throne, right? So fun facts about that. I'm sorry. Okay. The tombs of Deir el-Medina. You guys, I left my heart in the tombs of Deir el-Medina. This is absolutely the best example of Egyptian artwork ever. So let me tell you a little bit about Deir el-Medina and why it is so special. Deir el-Medina is the village of the workers. So these were the guys that were working on the tombs of the pharaohs in the Valley of the Kings. So this is where they lived, right? They would go over to the Valley of the Kings, which is just right over the hill, and then they would come back here, and this is where they lived. Now, so there's the village. You turn around, and right in the cliff are their tombs. So these guys making the pharaoh's tomb, they're making their own tombs. And this artwork is so much better than what's in the Valley of the Kings, right? This artwork says that every man is a king, right? And oh my gosh, it is so spectacular. This is the artwork that you always see in textbooks. But books, there's absolutely no comparison to seeing it in real life, right? So we will go in these tombs. This temple, I love this temple because it is dedicated to Horus and his revenge, right? Who doesn't want like a revenge temple, right? So Horus, there's the whole story where the uncle kills daddy and we have to kill the evil uncle, but again, we'll talk about that later. So this is where we're gonna go. We're gonna see that revenge. Ooh, okay, Kamombo. So we're still trekking down, we're going south. This particular temple is interesting because it's a dual temple. So we've got two deities being represented here, but the one that we want to talk about is Sobek, crocodile god, right? There's also the Crocodile Museum because there was a cache of crocodile mummies discovered here, and they are massive. Now these particular crocodiles, why did they care to mummify them? Oh, because they were serving as the living deity, right? And so they would have them, they would dress them up, they would put jewelry on them, because all of that's a really great idea, right? But anywho, so it's just fabulous. And here we see like examples of, it's Egyptian art, yes, but it's from the Greco-Roman period, so we're gonna start to see some real chunky, busty women, which I can relate, right? I have no complaints. Some people don't like it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. We will also be going to Abu Simbel, which is almost, like you could literally just like hop across the border when you're down here. Some of you guys remember when they moved this whole temple complex, right? Like they cut it up and they moved it because of the construction of the Aswan High Dam. And I've been there and I just can't believe that people did that. I can't believe that the ancient Egyptians made this structure. It is so amazing. And I can't believe that even with all of our modern technology that we were able to move this to a new location to save it. But it's stunning. I don't want to I want to talk about all the cool artwork inside, but we can't, right? Because we don't have time. There's also going to be a felucca ride on the Nile, and we're going to be doing this in Aswan. Why did I decide Aswan? Because Aswan, out of the whole stretch of Nile, this is where it is the most picturesque, the most beautiful, and we'll get to see birds. And I don't know, I got old one day and it's like, ooh, birds, they're exciting, right? So really great plant life, just a fabulous contrast between the desert sands and the lush greens by the river, and birds. Also, there's a botanical garden in Aswan, and it's huge. It's gorgeous. There's plants from all over the world right there. And also, I got to hold a baby crocodile when I was there. So, I know, right? So, I just meet new friends wherever I go. We're also going to go see the Aswan High Dam, which may or may not excite you, but we're there and we're going to do that. We're also probably going to drive over the Low Dam, right? So, that one would have been like from 1902. But this is an architectural wonder. It really is. Egypt's economy totally turned around once they built this. Also, maybe to your disappointment even, this is the reason that there's no longer crocodiles in the Nile. Aww. Right? Also the reason there's no hippos. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it certainly keeps people safe, right? This here, the Temple of Philae. Would you believe it if I told you that they moved this whole structure from one island to another? I know, what are they doing moving all these temples, right? So when they built the dam, this structure was at risk of flooding, and well, we're just gonna move it to save it. And it really is, it is absolutely gorgeous. We take a little boat ride to get there, and oh my gosh, there's again, such great example, great artwork there, and there's cats. There's cats on the island. Yes, right? We will also be going to the Aswan Market, which is fabulous. It is known for its spices. We're gonna have food there, and again, it will be good. I would also say that when we're in Luxor and you have a little bit of free time, that you should go to the market there, because I will say, out of all the markets, Luxor Market's really the best, like for prices, for getting engaged. It has everything you need, right? Then we will also go to the Nubian Museum and Village. So to get to the village, we actually have to get on a little motorboat, and we can get henna, we can have coffee, we can have tea, we can have snacks, and we'll just check out the brightly colored buildings and their way of life, all viewing the night. And I had snacks there, and it was really good. It was some sort of, they called it sweet flour, and I guess that's what it was. I know it sounds gross, but it was really good. They like had some cheese, had some black honey, and just eating bread all day over there. It was great. What more do you guys want, right? Yes, there's going to be shopping throughout this whole trip. We will go to papyrus shops, we will go to alabaster shops, we're gonna go to a perfumery. I think we're even scheduled to go to a carpet shop where we will see little children making rugs. And I know we're supposed to think that that is sad and depressing, but you guys need to understand, these kids are so proud of their work. They are learning a skill that they can use for life. So it's their school, they're learning a trade. So yes, great carpets, kids doing good things, okay? All right, so this is what you guys all, first off, do we have any questions about the fabulous itinerary? Yes.
I'm a little curious about the Nubian village.
Yeah.
So at first I thought it was a Nubian village. But
There are many
Nubian village. Like, is it?
There are several Nubian villages because Nubia is like a whole geographic area. So there's like a Nubian village here that you'll see. There's one over here. There's one over here. Yeah.
Okay.
So we will be going to one of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure, but I think they take turns. Like there's a rotation.
Yeah. Accepting tourists today.
Yeah. But I'm sure they are all fine, right? Yes.
What kind of currency do you use there?
So they use the Egyptian pound, which is to our benefit because it's 3 cents to our dollar.
So we use our regular currency then?
Well, okay. They really like the American dollar. Who doesn't? But they will also accept the Egyptian pound, and most places accept credit cards. So I take a little bit of everything. Yeah. When I was at the Luxor market, they very much wanted the American dollar there. Like a couple of bucks, you know, for whatever you're buying. So they really liked that. Cairo, I feel like I was using more Egyptian pounds. So bring both. Yep, there's ATMs everywhere there. like in the hotels, just walking down the street. So you'll be fine, I promise. Yeah.
English,
I see.
how well can you correspond with them?
Very well. Okay. So yes, their primary language is Arabic, but almost everyone there speaks a second, third, even fourth language. Our guide, well, and I will be there too, our guide speaks English. Yep, absolutely. And then when we go to all the different sites, there's plenty of people that speak English there. Worst comes to worst. Like if you're at a restaurant, you point, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah.
What kind of phone chargers?
Oh, okay. So when you go, you will want to get one of the overseas phone chargers. Mine has like a 3-in-1, so I'm good for every country. They are set on the UK one.
So it's a circle one?
The circle with 2 holes. Yeah, yeah, yep, circle with 2 holes. But if you get like the 3-in-1, you're good anywhere you go. Yeah. What other questions?
This might be a silly question.
No,
but you
no
mentioned
silly
the
questions.
Spices, is that, or like, in terms of airport secure, customs, is that something you would have to declare, or?
Oh no. I have a friend who's from India, and she heard I was going to Aswan, and she's like, hey, can you get me big bags of spices? No problem, no problem. Yeah.
When you were taking pictures, is there a light, or do you have to use flash? Are you allowed to use flash or anything like that?
Because I have a background in museum studies and I respect the art and culture, I do not use flash.
Well, I just want to know whether they allowed it.
Yeah, so that's a really great question. It depends where you go. If you're inside the Great Pyramid, you can use flash. There, when we are in the National Museum and we are down with the mummies, no flash. Actually, no pictures, no flash, no nothing there. Because that's disrespectful. Like those royal mummies are their grandfathers. I mean, that is essentially how they feel. So like no pictures there. But there's signs, you know, you'll be fine, yeah. So the answer is, it depends. Yep. But yeah, if you if you have any ethics about you.
I just want to know if they were bright enough for you to actually take a picture.
Oh yeah, yeah. She was my professor. Now I'm professor.
I taught her collection management.
Yeah. She's coming. Okay, any other questions?
How hot is hot to you?
Okay. So let's talk about that. When I was there in June in Aswan, it was 115 degrees, but it was a dry heat. In August here, it got up to like 120 degrees, and it's like wet blanket on your face when you go out, you're breathing in water. I'll take that hot any day. Like, yeah, this cornfield hot, no thank you. Yeah, so I was fine.
Yeah, I just wondering what you
Yeah, and that was the hottest it got on the trip. Cairo, it was cooler. And my trick is, because I usually don't do too well in the heat, is every morning I will have like what are they called? Like an IV, a liquid IV or like a Gatorade. Yeah. So I will do one of those in the morning and I'm good for the day. Mostly like leg cramps because, you know, like when you sweat. Yeah, but I did that and I was just fine. Yep.
You'll have to take water bottles in the majority of them.
Oh yeah. It's Egypt, it's hot. Man, they were letting me take water bottles like through the airports there. So, you know. Yep.
That's bottled water that you buy, right? You don't want to.
Okay. Do not drink. And again, we will go over all of this before we go. Do not drink the water in Egypt. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, but you can imagine.
I'm bringing Imodium, so.
Yes. So I will be completely honest with you. The first time I was there, I only got sick once. I don't know if it's because I accidentally brushed my teeth with the water, or if it was just hot, or I ate something weird, but I only had one day of being sick, and I didn't get sick until I got home. Because, like, switch from the food, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, don't drink the water. I know for a fact that this time I did brush my teeth with the water and I was fine. So I'm not sure what is supposed to I think I'm supposed to get diarrhea. Yeah.
I took a group in 2019, and at that time, because you're gonna have a coach.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we
Yes.
picked up all sorts of bottled water.
Yes, yeah.
Now, there is a real effort to not have so many bottles around. So it could be that our tour operator will tell us to bring a water bottle.
Yeah.
And then they will have like coolers of water
Yeah.
in the vehicle, and then you just keep filling it up.
Yeah.
And then even when you go up to your hotel room, take a full bottle of water.
Yeah.
And then at meals, we will be ordering what
Yeah.
we call table water, but it'll be bottled
Yeah.
water. And the
Yeah.
important thing is to hydrate. And we'll make sure that water is always there.
Yeah, absolutely. So like on the cruises, in the hotels, there's usually water already there in your rooms, and water over there is super, super cheap. And also, like she was saying, the coaches, during transportation, water was always provided for me. So I don't think that'll be a problem, right? Yeah. What else? What other questions? Yeah.
The IV hydration you were talking about, that's available?
Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got
Do you
mine.
take it with you though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
3 times the hydration
Yeah.
of water.
Yeah.
3 to
Yep.
4 times as much. It's just in a packet.
Yep.
It's
it-
different flavors.
Yeah, different flavors. Like when you go into like the drink section where there's all the Gatorades and like the different water flavory things, that's where you can get it, or Amazon.
Costco, shop.
Really, wherever. CVS, I'm sure has it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fairly cheap. Yeah.
Does it have sugar in it?
They have a sugar-free option.
I was gonna say, I feel like there were sugar-free options.
Yeah, there's
I'm
sugar-free
a
option.
diabetic,
yeah,
so
I
I'm trying to
did
get used
not-
to it. so.
Did not investigate that, but yeah, and there's different brands, you know, that have the same thing. But yeah, that's what I do. So, yeah, other questions?
So
before-
there's a lot of pictures of all the pyramids and all that
Yes.
stuff. And see, how much are we with the locals and stuff? Just at the market, or do you get to experience the
All right.
culture?
That's a great question. So through the whole trip, we are going to have an Egyptologist, a real Egyptologist with us. So they will be showing us some of the culture and some of the foods and things like that, which is very exciting. Now, because we are going to be on, you know what, I'm not even gonna say that, because what I'm gonna make you do, in your free time, I'm gonna make you get off the boat and go walk around town by yourself. And it's gonna be great, right? I did it. So every night I was over there. This time I did not do any of the cruises, so I stayed on land in the different places, and every single night I went out and I walked around town. I am still here. I have all my limbs. I have 5 more engagements, but that's it, right?
Actually, one of your swains went with you?
No, and I didn't want them to, because like, as soon as you have a guide or someone with you, they treat you different, right? Don't get me wrong, they treated me different because I was a single white woman, but it's different, right? And to me, like, that was part of the fun. Like, walking around at night, there's, like, people were coming up to me, they wanted to speak, like, practice their English. To them, I was a novelty because I was a white woman. I was by myself, and for them, like, this, it might have been like the only time in their life where they're gonna see a white woman, because they live out in the country and they came into town and there was a white woman there, right? They wanted to take my picture. I don't know how many strangers have my picture on their phone. But you know what? It's part of the fun. It is for me, just talking with strangers. It's fun, you know, so. Yes.
Well, something else, because this is a one-of-a-kind trip, in that the Putnam is sponsoring this, and we've got Annika as our lecturer and professor, and then Christina as our curator and the Egyptologist. Once this group gels and we know exactly who's going. I know Annika's is going to be doing some sessions. If this group says, I would love to get into an Egyptian home, I just would love to get a feel for, how do they live?
Yeah.
Well, we have time between now and June that if we want to see if we could maybe have a meal in a local's
Yeah.
home instead of going to a restaurant. That's what is so wonderful about these types of trips. It's all about your interests.
Yeah.
And once we know the 20 of you who are going, we can take it from there.
Yeah, yep. Okay, so I'm gonna surprise you now. Okay, the guide that we're having was my guide that I had the first time, right? I was looking for a book, a very specific book. He took me to a bookstore, it wasn't there. He showed up the next day at my hotel with the book, which is, right? Also, when I was there, he gave me this scarab, right? When I was there this time, my guide was his brother, right? Right. So anywho, we're in the Valley of the Kings and the brother is like, oh, here's your Christmas present from my brother, right? Because I've been in contact with this guide, like, okay? The original brother is going to be our guide. Yes, so he's gonna take us to all the bookstores. Anything we want, he's gonna make happen because his whole purpose in life is to make me happy. Yes.
Okay, now that we know that, what's the shipping home situation for bookstores and
Fabulous question.
and Alabaster too?
Yes, fabulous question. This is what you want to do. You want to have a suitcase. Inside that suitcase, you want to have an empty duffel bag. Because we'll get 2 checked bags on the way home. That's the way you want to do it. I would not recommend doing shipping, especially for Alabaster, because shipping is very expensive right now for overseas. So, extra suitcase.
And fill that extra suitcase with bubble wrap.
Yes, yes. I will say though that all the Alabaster shops that I've been to, they've wrapped it, but I take some bubble wrap. Worst that's gonna happen is I ditch it somewhere. No big deal. It's great. Or I've ditched some clothes, I've ditched a pair of shoes. Sacrifices must be made, right? Yes.
I am, of course, interested in antique shops, and so I have been looking them up, and they
Yes.
have got incredible stuff there from all around the world.
Yes.
You go to our antique shops here and get American antiques.
Yes.
I saw a Japanese tea set from Japan, 1920s. I saw a Art Deco liqueur set in
Yes.
glass.
Yes.
So there's some really cool stuff there.
Yeah. Just so walking down the Kana Kalihi or Singer sewing machines, like vintage.
I saw one
Yes.
too.
Yes. So if you want a whole sewing machine, I'm sure you could get one like super cheap.
Yeah, they had like a little mini one with
Yeah.
a mother of pearl decoration on it.
Yeah. So it's also we're going to go to, I think it's the Mall of Egypt.
Oh, sweet. That's the other thing I thought would be fun.
Yeah. And when I was there this time, my guy, Jimmy, right? Gamal, Jimmy. He was telling me about the movie theater and just telling me about the mall. And I was like, let's go, right? So he's off the clock, takes me to the movies, right? Takes me on a little date. And the mall is unlike anything I've ever seen. It is huge with all sorts of brands, all sorts of shopping. So there's literally going to be something for everyone. There's going to be the past, the history, which is fabulous. But there's also going to be the current culture, So really, in shopping, and food. And there's just everything. I don't know what more you want. I'm giving it all to you, right? Okay? All right. Any more questions?
Did
Yes.
you see the Happy Joes?
Oh,
Yeah, I love her.
okay. Yes, there's Happy Joe's over there. I don't care if we want to go and get a selfie or if we actually want to go eat at a Happy Joe's in Egypt. I don't care. Whatever makes you happy
It's
makes me
certainly
happy.
not the same food you would get at Happy Joe's here. Because we got a menu. We got
We
a
have the
menu.
menus in the collection.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Menus.
I say for research, we try it. So when I was over there, Jimmy, he asked like, you know, what food was I missing? And I was like, oh, I haven't had really good pizza in a while. And so he's asking like what my favorite pizza is. And I'm like, I don't know, probably Domino's. So he takes me to a Domino's, right? He opens up the box. There's ketchup packets inside.
For pizza?
Yes! I'm like, what fresh hell is this? Take your, he's like, we put ketchup on pizza over here. And I'm like, okay, all right. I did not, that's wrong. But anywho, I'm trying this Domino's pizza. And it's like, it can't even compare, it's pizza, but it can't compare to the pizza over here because it's, just a creamy layer of cheese. So much cheese because they love cheese over there. But it was so good. So I promise you, you will not starve, okay? You're gonna find some weird things like ketchup in pizza boxes, but it's fine. Just give them the business about it, right? Okay. All right, so what everyone wants to know about is the price. We are looking at that top row for 20 people, just a little over $4,000, which is a steal because almost everything is included. The only thing that's not included is the international flight, the insurance, and your entry visa, okay? If we get 25 people, the price goes down a little bit. If you want to be in a room by yourself, I totally get it, all right? I'm 35. You know, there's just things I like to do alone, all right? So the single supplement, if you want to sleep by yourself, if you want to have a bathroom to yourself, if you just want some me time, $805. And let me tell you, it's going to be money well spent. Just, all right? So what's included? All of our hotels, which are 4 and 5 star, okay? So that's good. There's going to be 12 breakfasts, 12 lunches, 13 dinners. So almost all of our meals are going to be included. Happy Joe's is going to cost us, right? There's going to be intercountry airfare. So like when we go to Abu Simbel, that's a flight. That's included in that price. Transportation to all of the sites and entry to all of the sites. It's all covered. So all of those places that we looked at, you don't have to pay a dime. Because, I mean, you are, but like not on site, right? So everything is included. There's going to be an Egyptologist at all the sites, right? We're gonna have my Egyptologist, Ahmed. If we want a second one, let me know, and I'll bring in Jimmy, right? Jimmy's fun.
He's the chocolate guy, isn't he?
They're all chocolate. What are you talking about?
He's giving her chocolate all the time, she said.
Oh no, that was the brother.
Oh.
Yeah. Jimmy was the one whose engagement I maybe ended. You know, I just cause trouble wherever I go. So I promise it's gonna be fun, right? You're gonna get me, okay? And we're gonna have fun. But also, I'm gonna keep you safe. And before we go, we're gonna meet. And we're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you want to learn about Egyptian gods and goddesses, we're going to talk about that. If you want to know more about just traveling overseas, we're going to talk about that. So whatever you want to know and learn about, you're going to let me know, and we're going to talk about it. Yes?
I'm assuming you guys are flying out of Chicago?
Yes.
How are you getting to Chicago? Is each person going by themselves? Is you guys doing a bus?
I will be going by myself. So what I will do is I will recommend a place for you guys to park, or you guys can find your own parking. It's up to you. There is, I believe it's called the Holiday Inn. It is right next to a Portillo's, right? Okay, some of you are like, yeah, Portillo's, right? Because as soon as I get back from that flight, I need food. I need it now, right? I miss my Diet Coke, so that's what I do, right? This particular hotel does have transportation back and forth. It has a shuttle, which is very nice, unless Linda has other plans for this.
Well,
Yeah, but that's what I will be doing, yeah.
again, we look at our numbers.
Yeah.
Since you're all going to be, well, I will help you with airfare. I'd like to get group airfare.
Yeah.
For, you know, for the, maybe I should come over here.
Yes,
Some of that.
get up here.
When I've been doing group tours for over 25 years, so I speak with a little experience
Yes.
here. Since if it turns out we do the group air and we're all on the same flight, then I could probably hire a company like Act Two Transportation. They could pick up right here at the Putnam. You could have, a friend, a neighbor drop you off at the Putnam, and you go right to O'Hare, and then they'll know the return flight and the same thing. Let's just assume we have 20 and we get there, they've got like a mini coach that holds about 28 people, and then they'll probably pull your luggage in, it'll probably be, I'm just gonna estimate, about $180 round trip.
That's pretty good.
The other option is that if you want to drive to Chicago and do a park and fly, you can stay at the Holiday Inn. There's a Courtyard by Marriott.
Also a good one.
Where you basically, they include an overnight. So it depends on when your flight is leaving. If it is an evening flight, then you drive in that same day, park the car, and then when you're coming back, you can very likely be exhausted and you want to do your overnight and then drive. So it's really going to depend on the group dynamics. I can handle that for you as long as enough of you are on the same flight. If indeed you end up using, your frequent flyer miles and points and such, we can't have lots of different ones. But part of the reason that we're having the meeting tonight and March 1st is our final plan. Myself and Christina, time to do meetings and to communicate with you and probably have a chat or a few Zoom meetings and such to find out, what you want and what your comfort zone is. But, that would be I would say if you wanted to just maybe budget, say about $200 to get you to and from Chicago.
Yeah.
As long as I'm here. The other thing I wanted to just talk about was trip protection insurance.
Yes.
And the company that, on the back of your registration form, there is a chart, and the chart is based on people's age, and the chart is based right now on the cost of the trip. So based on about $4,200. So that's what we're collecting now to make sure that your investment in the trip is safe. And then once we determine our air, I'm estimating the air to be about $1,600. It might be better. I don't think it's going to be higher, than that. And that's for economy. Now, if you want premium economy or business class, we use in a group contract. Sometimes we can get that, and I think you're just going to need to talk to me, individually. So we'll just make a general assumption that we're talking economy air, and that should be about $1,600. One thing that I did bring is just, a lot of people ask, all right, what does trip insurance cover? And I do have a handout that as far as if you have to cancel, usually the reason that you have to cancel is either your health or an immediate family member's health, or something, if you're still working, a job related that your employer now says you've just been promoted and you can't go, on this trip. And the policy, it has a whole list of reasons why if you need to cancel, what is covered. But I did just want to go over basically, if you have to cancel, this coverage, we determine how much you're spending on the trip. It will cover up to 100% of what you would not get back. The only thing that wouldn't be covered is your premium, you know, the $400 or the $500 that you've spent on insurance. There's also something called trip interruption or delay. An interruption is you're on the trip and maybe you're halfway through the trip and then you get the call from home that you need to come back. Insurance realizes that, okay, a couple of things have happened. You've got to take a flight the next day to get back home, and you're going to pay premium price for that. So they actually cover 150% of what you paid for your trip, because they know, one, you're going to pay more to get yourself home, and even to get like from O'Hare back here, you may have to take a taxi or something, and it's not going to be Act 2 transportation. And then the other thing is you've missed half of your trip. So you will be covered for the part of your trip that you've missed. The other thing that, of course, is we all think about is medical expense. Should we take a stumble and now we, you know, have a broken hip, or there's a reason that you need to be hospitalized, and now not only you're not coming home for a while because you're in traction, and how is all that covered? Well, this insurance covers up to $100,000 in medical expenses, and I take that back, $50,000 in medical expenses if you need to be medevaced out of a pyramid. It goes up to $100,000. Then there's also, baggage. If your suitcase is just full of all your treasures and it gets waylaid, I want to make sure I get this right. It's up to $1,500 in that. If you're rooming with somebody and you're paying the double occupancy rate, but now your roommate gets ill and now all of a sudden you're single, if you both have insurance, even that single supplement is covered. So, I mean, these are the sort of things that once we're all together, and if you want me to go into more details on insurance, I'm a real believer in insurance.
Yeah.
I'll leave this up. I mean, this is just kind of a summary of what I've just shared. And we have all sorts of brochures here and the registration forms, anything you need. And of course, I'll be here.
Yeah.
If you.
My first trip, I asked her all the questions about insurance, and there wasn't anything I could come up with that wasn't covered. And I had a dying husband at the time. No joke. I'm not even exaggerating. Right? So all of that, I had no worries. So, questions?
Are you close to the 20 people that have?
We're getting there.
Are you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're
Cell
there.
phone plans.
Yeah. Mhm.
Is there, do you need to ask or talk to your provider and let them know you're traveling? And
Yeah, so I have Verizon, and I just go online and I say, I'm going to be gone this day, this is where I'm going, and that's it. And then they just adjust my plan accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah, and they'll give you like some options for like the best deal. But yeah, and they do have internet over there, so it's fine. Yeah.
I do have a question. So I know you said credit card
Yes.
is accepted over there. Is there
Yes.
any particular type or?
Visa is usually good. I recommend like going to your bank, asking about a debit or credit card that is good overseas. So I go with US Bank, and I have like a Visa Go card. Also, what is it? The Gateway Mileage. I never had the one that you recommended to me. Yes, it's blue. That one has never been declined over there, but also it has really good fraud protection. Yep.
Oh, I think the United Airlines.
Yeah. That
United
one's good.
Airlines.
Yeah, that one's been really good.
Yeah.
So, yep. But I also get like really good rewards points on the Visa Go credit card. So, yeah. Discover card, not so much. And honestly, I would have like 2 debit cards over there just in case something happens to one. Right? So,
I would say the other thing that since we've got a good audience here tonight and you came because you're really interested in this destination, we have about a 6-week window here in that we've got the registration forms, personal information form, so that we have passport information, the name that how your name is on your passport, emergency contact, allergies, all those sorts of things. We're accepting a deposit of $750 to hold your spot.
Yes.
And then insurance. On the back of your registration form, you'll see the chart. And that chart indicates what we would collect now.
Yep.
Honestly, the younger you are, the less you have to pay.
Yes.
The older
Our
we
time to
get,
shine.
we, you know,
Ridiculous.
you know, and then March 1st is our final payment day, and that's the final payment for the trip. That lets me know, all right, do we have 20? Do we have 26? And then I can go out and get a group contract for your air. But it doesn't make sense for you to invest in air or for me to try to get a contract until I know our real numbers. At this point, everyone would be flying out of Chicago, and that's good. That's really good. So, I mean, those are your 2 dates, and it seems to me, Annika, you were working on a meeting date.
Yes.
For the group.
Yes.
Okay.
So our first little get together, and again, this is optional. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything extra or homework or anything like that, but I encourage you to come on March 9th, 10 o'clock here at the Putnam Museum. Chris is going to give us a guided tour of the Egyptian exhibit, and we're just gonna get to know each other, right? So meet and greet, things like that. So we're gonna get excited about this trip if you're not already. I also have this sheet here. So like I said, all of your questions, anything that you want to know, if you want to learn more about Egyptian art or the gods or goddesses, write it down. Whatever you want to know about, write it down here. But yes, our first meeting is March 9th at 10. And what I will do is once we have, our group signed up, I will email you guys with a survey, and you're gonna let me know when you are available to meet, if you want to. I'm not gonna force anyone to participate, I really won't. And then we'll have little lectures, we'll have discussions, we'll have whatever you want to get us ready for this trip. If you wanna sit and watch Agatha Christie together, we're gonna do it, right? So whatever you guys want, whatever you need, this is your trip, right? My job is to help make your dream come true and to make this the best experience possible, because that's what I had, right? And I want to do that for you guys.